There are souls among us who never truly had a childhood, not because they lacked years, but because life demanded from them the strength of a man when they were still a boy, or the endurance of a woman when they were still a girl. They grew up too fast. They learned early that the world is not soft, that comfort is an illusion, that safety is temporary. These souls walk through life with quiet eyes and guarded hearts. They laugh, but their laughter is brief. They trust, but never fully. They love, but are always with one hand ready to let go, because somewhere inside, a part of them still remembers what it was like to need and to not be met. We, those who grew up too fast, were taught early what Stoic philosophers spent lifetimes trying to master: that the world is not here to soothe us, that we cannot control the storms outside us, only the way we stand in them. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Do not expect the world to act as you wish it to. Accept the world as it is, and you will find peace." Those who grew up too fast had no choice but to learn that lesson. They were forced to find peace in chaos, calm in neglect, order in uncertainty. But here lies the tragedy. When a child learns to suppress their needs too early, they grow into adults who no longer recognize their own pain. They confuse control with strength, silence with peace, and isolation with safety. Epictetus warned us, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Yet the child who had to grow up fast learned to not react at all. They froze their feelings to survive. They buried their softness under layers of logic, duty, and self-reliance. They built walls so strong that even love struggles to enter. We must understand that was their form of wisdom, their own version of Stoicism, born not from philosophy, but from necessity. They learned self-control not from choice, but from pain. But that kind of control, the one built from fear, is fragile, because true Stoicism is not the absence of emotion. It is the mastery of it. It is the ability to feel deeply yet remain unbroken. Seneca wrote, "He who suffers before it is necessary suffers more than necessary." The child who grew up too fast still suffers before anything happens because they expect pain. They are always prepared for disappointment, always rehearsing the worst. Their mind is their armor, but also their prison. We, who carry this kind of past, must learn to unlearn our old form of strength, the kind that made us survive, but never allowed us to truly live, the kind that made us calm on the outside, but restless within. True fortitude is not to suppress emotion, but to face it, without letting it dominate us. A Stoic mind does not run from its wounds. It examines them. It understands that pain is not a punishment, but a teacher, that the child within us, who learned to stand too early, must now be allowed to sit, to rest, to feel, to breathe. When we stop fearing our emotions, we stop being slaves to them. We stop projecting our past into every silence, every rejection, every uncertainty. We begin to see that control is not coldness, it is clarity. That peace is not numbness, it is acceptance. The child who grew up too fast must now grow wise enough to slow down, to understand that the armor once needed for survival has become unnecessary for peace, that we can let the guard down, not because the world has become safer, but because we have become stronger. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Those words are not about denial, but liberation. To take back ownership of our reactions, our thoughts, our inner world, even after the world once took our innocence. We, who grew up too fast, must now grow deep. We must become the guardians of our inner calm, the protectors of our own peace. We must understand that resilience without tenderness becomes hardness, and hardness without wisdom becomes emptiness. Emotional numbness is not strength. It's an unhealed defense. There is a moment in every hardened soul's life when silence becomes too heavy to carry, when you've spent years appearing calm, unbothered, and composed. But inside, there's an ache you can't name. You don't cry, not because you're strong, but because you forgot how. You don't react, not because you're at peace, but because feeling anything has become foreign to you. That is what happens to the child who grew up too fast. They mistake numbness for mastery, detachment for wisdom, coldness for control. But true stoicism, true inner strength of Majin, was never about becoming numb. It was about becoming awake. Marcus Aurelius never told us to feel nothing. He told us to not be ruled by what we feel. There's a difference, a deep, life-altering difference. Those who grew up too fast built walls around their emotions because they had to. No one came to soothe them. No one told them that it was safe to feel. So they turned pain into logic, heartbreak into ambition, and fear into silence. They became their own protector, their own savior, their own parent. But in that process, they lost connection with the tender human parts of themselves, the parts that needed to feel wonder, joy, and love without suspicion. Seneca once wrote, "It is the power of the mind to be unconquerable. But an unconquerable mind is not one that refuses to feel. It's one that chooses how to feel. It's one that allows the storm to pass through without destroying the foundation within. The numb learn to shut the world out. The wise learn to stand still while the world rages. The difference lies in courage. Numbness is fear dressed as strength. It says, if I don't feel, I can't be hurt. But courage says, even if I feel, I will not break." That's the path of true fortitude, not to avoid life, but to endure it with grace. Those who mistake numbness for power become ghosts among the living. They smile when required, but it never reaches their eyes. They love, but always halfway, because the full depth of connection terrifies them. They fear needing someone, because needing once meant pain. They crave peace, but confuse it with emptiness. To live like this is to carry an invisible cage within. You may look calm, but your peace is fragile, easily shattered by loneliness, by rejection, by sudden change. True Stoic peace, however, is not fragile. It does not depend on avoidance. It is born from confrontation, from meeting your emotions, your wounds, your fears, and saying, "You no longer control me." Epictetus taught, "No man is free who is not master of himself." To master yourself is to know your own shadows, to stop running from them. It is to admit, yes, I was hurt. Yes, I had to grow up too fast, but I am no longer that helpless child. I can feel pain now without letting it consume me. That's not weakness, that's transcendence. When we begin to reconnect with our emotions through understanding, not indulgence, we evolve beyond our past. We stop punishing ourselves for needing love. We stop apologizing for our sensitivity. We stop viewing tenderness as a threat to our strength. Because Stoicism, at its core, was never about rejecting humanity. It was about refining it. The child who grew up too fast learned to suppress emotion to survive. The adult who chooses Stoic wisdom learns to transform emotion to thrive. One is a reaction, the other is evolution. So we must dare to feel again, not recklessly, but consciously. We must open the door we once sealed shut, knowing that pain may enter, but peace will follow. We must look at the parts of ourselves that still tremble and say, "You are safe now. You no longer need to hide." This is the rebirth of the soul that once froze to survive. It's the moment when silence turns into serenity, when control turns into clarity, and when numbness turns into understanding. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." Those who grew up too fast can reclaim that power by changing the meaning of what happened to them, by seeing their pain not as proof of weakness, but as the forge that created unshakable depth. We are not broken because we once felt too much. We are broken when we stop feeling at all. To awaken from numbness is to return to life, not as the child who suffered, but as the adult who finally understands. That is the quiet revolution within the Stoic heart. We no longer seek to be untouched by pain. We seek to be unchained by it. If this video resonated with you, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because the path to mastery, self-control, and true inner strength is one we walk together. Join us as we explore the truths most are too afraid to face and uncover the power that lies in quiet reflection, discipline, and resilience. Remember, the world will try to break you, distract you, and make you doubt yourself. But here, we sharpen our minds, fortify our hearts, and rise above. Subscribe now and take the first step toward becoming unstoppable.